Now that's a giraffe. Hello, my wondrous friends, and welcome to another edition of the Nintendo News Roundup. It's not a bad week. There's a lot of juicy little stories here, a lot of chunky little tidbits for us to eat, for us to bite. I don't know, whatever. Let's do them. Let's eat them. I'm hungry. So, according to a report by Japanese magazine Shukan Bunshun, translated by Video Games Chronicle, Nintendo had some pretty, I mean, at least if this whole report or whatever is to be believed, but it's pretty in-depth and citing a bunch of different sources and everything, and it's also just believable, just pretty believable in general. Nintendo had a lot of plans to be kind of integrated in a part of the Olympics opening ceremony, and they kind of pulled out pretty late in the process. At the opening ceremony, there was like a big montage of performances to video game music, which is pretty amazing. And they were in Tokyo, so it makes sense. You're already doing video game stuff. You'd have some Nintendo stuff. According to the report, there was a bunch of Mario and Zelda. There was gonna be like a Lady Gaga coming up out of a pipe wearing a Mario hat or something. I could definitely see that happening. It seems like they put a ton of thought into it. There was a lot of work went into what they were gonna do, but they decided not to. And I don't know a lot about the Olympics, but I've heard a lot of things about how, I mean, they're pretty bad for the local economies of wherever they go, and there's just a lot of controversy and stuff. So it's possible that Nintendo pulled out for a reason that benefited them, and not just because, I don't know, things were too hard to do or something like that. But if it is something that they had to stop doing, for reasons outside of their control, I will say that's sad. They're in Tokyo. When is that ever gonna happen again? I can imagine that just the people at Nintendo, the big executives and everything, I just can imagine that would be so immensely, just immeasurably disappointing that they weren't able to be a part of it. So yeah, again, I don't know any of the specifics or anything, but it's definitely interesting to see. It was gonna be a big thing. Speaking of Nintendo and Tokyo, there's the big main official Nintendo store in Tokyo, and they've got these famous statues. They're kind of in the store, like a Mario and a Link and an Isabelle and an Inkling. And it seems they're going to be selling smaller replicas of the statues. So that's kind of a cool little collector's item thing if you can, get them. So Nintendo's been doing the whole basic thing with Animal Crossing, very small updates and kind of just recycling the old holidays and stuff like that. But in the most recent tweet about the latest update, they followed it up by saying, hey everybody, we're actually making new content. There will be another free actual content update later this year. And it's kind of implied that it's a more substantial update, because otherwise, why? Hey, fireworks are back. We're gonna make new stuff. Because of the context, it kind of feels like they're saying it's gonna be something brand new. We don't know what it is, but it does kind of sound like Nintendo is, especially with the survey we talked about last week. Nintendo is finally kind of realizing they're doing a bad job. They're just doing a really bad job really updating this massive game and keeping people engaged with it. And so they're kind of like, I guess we should start making some new stuff. We don't know what it'll be. Will it just be bringing back the Roost or something? Or will it be something really substantial? I don't really know. But it's good to see that they're doing at least something. We'll just have to wait and see what that is, I guess. YouTube channel Impact Game Station. They claim to have received a letter from somebody, presumably a developer or something, and then that person says that they got an email from Nintendo telling them that they will be ceasing submissions for new Wii U and 3DS games next year. And as far as I can tell, this is the only source that says this. Nobody else has come out saying that they've received an email or letter or whatever, anything like this. So, not 100% sure if it's true. I mean, it seems reasonable, though. Eventually, Nintendo will stop letting people put new games on the Wii U and the 3DS. And only slightly suspect because the date is April 1st. But at the same time, it's not even that's a very funny joke. It's just gotcha. It's a very specific detail. Whatever the case, though, if that does happen, yeah, it's always sad to see these platforms slowly dwindle. But this doesn't mean that you can't still buy stuff on them. We're still not there yet. But it is, as I talked about recently, it is at least one step in the process. Here's the thing that's actually ending, though. Dr. Mario World. They're shutting it down. They're no longer letting people buy premium currency and spend money on it, and then soon it's just gonna go away in November. Apparently, it just wasn't profitable enough. It really just comes down to that. Just wasn't making enough money. It was one of the duds. And I did a little impressions video. I actually liked it. I didn't play it a ton, but out of all of Nintendo's like mobile stuff, that's one of the ones that I've been like, it's actually kind of fun. I think it's a unique spin. Most people hated it. I don't know, but it seemed to be a unique spin on Dr. Mario gameplay where you're dragging it around. I don't know. Seemed a little slower, a little more puzzly. I don't know, like how the monetization went after that, if it got really gross or whatever. I don't really know. But the gameplay was fun, I thought. It is disappointing that you have a game that's essentially a single-player game. There might have been multiplayer stuff in there, but like, you know, it's like Candy Crush or whatever. It's just a thing, and there's a bunch of levels. It stinks that they're not just making an offline version. Like, why don't you just take out all the online stuff, make an offline version, and charge $1 for it? You know, I don't know, like, just don't get rid of it completely. That's just such a waste. There's so much content there. I don't know. If anything, if I'm actually sad about this, I mean, this hurts. This hurts me. No more doctor characters. No more doctor characters. No more Dr. Goomba stack. I wanted to see more I'm sad. These were the best original characters to come out of Mario in 20 years. Speaking of games for your mobile phones, Pokemon Unite recently launched on the Switch. It is not yet launched on the phones, which I was confused about because I kept trying to download it and it wasn't on the store, and I felt stupid because it's on the Switch first. It's on the Switch. And Pokemon has put out a survey, a very early survey, just asking people like, what's up, how you liking it, how you feeling about different elements, different aspects, and it's a pretty in-depth kind of thing. I got some opinions about some parts of it. Yeah, I got a little feedback for you. But Roberta looks so peaceful out there, grazing in that field. I'm not gonna bother her today. I'll save it for the video. Hey, I just woke up and Kane told me I forgot to record one of the stories, so I'm doing this. He's gonna just slip it right in there with the other stories. You can't even tell. It's completely seamless. In a very surprising move, Pokemon announced that new Pokemon Snap would be getting some free new content. I think most of us fully anticipated that the game would be getting some sort of like paid DLC or something, but they said it's just for free. It's for 3 new courses, and it kind of feels like even more than that if you consider night and day variants. And that, of course, includes a bunch of new Pokemon. So I mean, this is like this is pretty substantial content update. This isn't just like a fun, free little like, oh, it's a couple extra costumes or something. Like, no, this is what I would anticipate to pay for, you know, and it's just surprising that it's free. Like, I would have paid $5 or something for this. There aren't even that many courses in the game, so like just to throw in a couple more, I don't know, it's pretty great. Good way to get people playing and posting about it and stuff again. And it does make you wonder, do they plan on doing any sort of paid DLC? It kind of feels like no at this point. It kind of, I don't know, this is substantial enough that I don't know if they do have any plans for that. And it also makes you wonder, are they gonna do more of these? Are they gonna do more free updates? Is this kind of just the one they decided to do and then they move on? Who really knows? It's incredibly cool though. I love the idea of them continuing to update it. I think it's I don't think it'll happen, but it's a fun idea to imagine they update it kind of beyond the scope of how much you normally would for a game. You know, we had to wait so long for a new Pokemon Snap, so it'd be kind of cool if they just kind of kept returning to it every once in a while. That would be neat. I would like that. Completely seamless transition into the next story. Some more Pokemon news. Variety claims that according to, quote, sources, Netflix is working on a live-action Pokemon show. Interesting. Very, very interesting. It is rumored to be helmed by Joe Henderson, who did some other Netflix stuff. I don't actually really exactly know who that is. But basically, live action in the style of Detective Pikachu, and it's one of those things where it all just comes down to the writing and just how, like, authentic it is, you know? That's why I love Detective Pikachu, but you could do the same kind of formula, but if it's not written with that much heart, then it's gonna be a thing. But if that's true, I'm certainly interested to see how it turns out. That would be pretty cool. In Japan, the Pokemon Company is having a special giveaway. They are giving away a replica of the bike from Pokemon Red and Blue, and Green and Yellow, or whatever. Basically, the original Pokemon bike. It's not a real bike. They're very careful to say that. Don't ride it. It's just for fun. Looks like a bike, but don't actually ride it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty slick. The close-ups are really nice. Lots of fun little details, and it's it's the million yen bike because the one in the game, it costs $1 million Poke dollars or whatever they're called. So that's cool. I mean, it's a one-of-a-kind thing. So some very lucky person is gonna be able to take that home. I don't know how much that'll be worth, but I mean, it probably won't be worth much unless they include like a special card. Just really quickly print out a Pokemon card to go with it, like the one-of-a-kind bike card. Oh, that's gonna be worth $1 million. The bike, who cares? Throw in the trash. More Japanese Pokemon stuff. They've got their Mon Poke kids line of clothes. They just revealed their fall winter line, and it's just clothes for like babies and toddlers. And you probably can't get it because it's in Japan, but I'm showing it here because it's adorable. Look at this, the Nintendo Life article on this. It's just, they rounded up all the cutest pictures. It's just adorable, okay? Last bit of Pokemon news. Last week we talked about how the Giga Leak from last year has kind of turned up some new information that they have discovered, and some games that were once in development but, got scrapped or whatever. And one that I did not get to mention was a DS Pokemon pinball game. Apparently that was gonna be a thing at some point, and they didn't do it. If you had asked me before this if there was a Pokemon pinball game on the DS, I probably would have said, of course. I kind of thought it's the DS. It's perfect for pinball. The top and the bottom. That's amazing. I guess it didn't happen though. Is there a 3DS one? I don't know. Who cares? So, the plot thickens. Recently, someone claimed that you pop open your Joy-Con and you just put a little piece of cardboard or foam or something behind the stick that can fix Joy-Con drift. That was the claim. But then people are popping open their new Skyward Sword Joy-Con, Spawnwave, did this and say, hey, look, Nintendo has already been putting this thing behind the stick. Have they fixed it? But then they're opening up other Joy-Con. He opened up another Joy-Con from, just a much, much older pair of Joy-Cons, and oh, look at that, it has it too. It seems that Nintendo might have been doing this a lot longer than we think. That's the interesting thing, though. Is this solving it? And like all the Joy-Con drift we're experiencing is from older ones? Because that's the problem, is they don't start to drift for like a year. So it's like, even if Nintendo fixed it, maybe we don't know yet or something. Or this is a thing that might help. This is kind of what I was afraid of when this whole quote unquote fix came out. It might help, but it might not necessarily fix every single case. So I'm not really sure. So jury's still kind of out on all of that, but who knows? No More Heroes 3, the most weirdly advertised, just the most weirdly marketed Switch exclusive game ever. They release these weird little odds and ends and tidbits all over the place. Everything else will get like this one meaty trailer thing, and everybody gets it all at once, and I don't know, these are all these weird little things. But the Twitter, they revealed some footage of like the open world and traveling around. Frame rate does not look great. I agree with a lot of people. The frame rate does not look really good in the open world sections, but I don't know, otherwise, there you go. If you're looking forward to that game, he's driving around. He's driving on a motorcycle. Cool. I didn't realize that in the UK, the Samus and Emmy amiibo were not yet available to pre-order, but it seems that they are now by the time this video goes out. I don't know if they will be anymore, but at least at the time of this recording, they are. I clicked the link, and it took me to a page that looked like they are available. So if that's still a thing and you're in the UK, jump on it. I missed it. Never gonna have one because I missed it. Collaborative music group Shine Sparkers. You may have heard of their big project, Harmony of a Hunter. Just a lot of cool arrangements, covers, whatever you want to call them, of Metroid music. And they're pretty cool. I really like some of it, and then some of it, I'm not as big of a fan on the just pure orchestral arrangements with Metroid. I gotta have that electronic thing. But a lot of the stuff they put out is really cool. Point is though, they're doing a new one. It's Harmony of a Hunter Returns, and it's 5 hours. It is 5 hours of Metroid arrangements. Pretty darn cool. Check that out when it comes out. Your mouth just stops working. You try to do like an M, and your lips don't connect, and then it just makes a weird noise, and you embarrass yourself in front of 90,000 people or something. Never happened to me. We're at the really interesting part of the roundup that you definitely don't skip and just turn it off because you realize I've run out of great news. Apparently in London, they made a new hill, and I guess they thought it was going to be really cool. They just made a big hill, but everybody just kind of hates it, and it's funny, and the reason it's here is because everybody says it looks like it's from Mario 64. It is pretty funny. It actually kind of does. It's not even a real hill. It's not even a real hill. You go inside at the bottom and it's like a fake hill. It's like a building with grass on it. So that's a thing. And they were charging people to climb the hill. Charging people like 8 pounds. And then they realized that everyone thought that was stupid. So then they lowered it. And then they refunded all the people who did it because they realized how stupid that was. And finally, did you know you can crouch under a line? Is this a thing anyone can, is this like an exploit, or is this a thing anyone could do all the, look at this. I mean, I'm supposed to be commenting on the, this is a YouTuber Pico, and it's this big, like, montage of cool Breath of the Wild kills, mostly using this, like flurry rush kind of exploit, glitchy kind of thing. I'm more just crouching under a line, you just crouch and walk under a Lionel. Is that a thing? You just do that? That's amazing. That's it for the Nintendo News Roundup. Thank you for watching. I will see you later. I love you. Goodbye.